Hey guys, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Unreal Engine 5.8. So let's jump straight in. From Epic Games Launcher, what you'll need to do is to download the new version. So you'll see under Library on the Epic Games Launcher, just here, there's a plus sign, and if you can't see it, hit the plus sign and you will see any version that's not installed. You'll notice how 5.6.1 popped up, but I don't need that anymore, so I'm just going to close that. And then we can launch from there. And before you do that, take a look in samples next door. And there are some really cool samples that you can download whole projects and play with, such as the sleigh animation sample. This city sample is pretty big. It's like 60 gigs, so trying to stay away from that. The content example is pretty cool. So if you ever really want to dive into Unreal and see what it has to offer, check out some of this content example project. So I'm going to go back over to library and then we're going to go launch, or you can just change up here in the top right. You can launch it from here as well. Also, just on this home page, we've got my projects. It will show you any projects you have saved or opened on your computer. And then we've got our library, all the different assets that we can have, that I have downloaded and gathered over the years. And then we can add these straight to our project as well. So I'm just going to launch this like so. You hit the launch button and then you will get, let's do that. Let's launch it up. Depending on your hardware, it's relatively quick. And where is it? It's here. So now you get this window. So you can go to My Projects, and again, it'll show you any recent projects you've opened, or you can go to New Project, and then you've got some tabs on the left-hand side. Select the tab which kind of relates to the project or the default kind of template that you want to use. We're going to go to Games and select Third Person. However, I would strongly advise take a look at Intro to Unreal. This is a lot of fun. It's pretty cool. So if you just click on this and then do come down the bottom and find a project location and then give it a name. Doesn't matter what you call it, no spaces, but we're going to go to third person. I'm going to navigate to my D drive, select folder, and now I can give it a name, and then I can say create. When you create that, it now looks like this. Here we go. So this is our third person template. Now straight away, I'm going to press play at the top, this green button. Here's Manny, and I press W to move forward, spacebar to jump. And we can run around this scene using the mouse to look. I always try and get out of the arena, you just can't do it. Press escape to come out. Now let's take a look at this interface a little bit, and then we'll talk about some of the controls. So at the very top, we've got file, and inside file here, we can open up new levels. We can save our current levels, we can save all. And unfortunately, that's all we can really do is save all. There's no incremental save, so it's just one save to save over the top. We can create new projects, open projects, recent projects, and so on and so forth. We've got windows, so we can find loads of different options and different windows. Now, just be aware that Unreal is really deep. It is a massive bit of software, and I'm just touching the surface. So you're not going to know it all. Some of the people who make this don't know it all. So just be aware of that as well. In Windows, actually in Edit, I should say, we will be looking into plugins, project settings, and editor preferences, so just know where they are as well. And one of the very first things that I do inside of Unreal is change my controls. So at the top menu here, we've got our settings just on the right, and in there we can invert middle mouse. If I do that, I get Maya controls. So my middle mouse is now normally just our pan. If I didn't do that, it's the opposite. You'll feel it if you don't change it. And then I can Alt and right mouse to zoom, left mouse to rotate, and middle mouse to pan. There's a better way of moving. if you hold right mouse button and then press W, E, S, A, and you will do a fly around camera. This is piloting the camera. Also, if you press E, you'll go up, and Q, you will go down. So W forward, S back, D right, A left, Q up, Q down, and E up. And once you get used to this, this is the new way of controlling it. I don't really do this do it the Maya way anymore. Even when I'm in Maya, I'm still trying to do a fly-through camera now. Also, you can change the speed of in which you fly through. So as I'm just flying through here, if I then scroll the wheel forward, it now goes really fast. Where is it? Let's try this again. Let's try that one more time. There we go. And now I'm super zoomed way too fast. So I'm going to scroll the wheel backwards. Let's try it again. There we go. And now I'm really much slower. You can change the speed at the top, just up here. In the same line as settings, there's a speed for your camera. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. You might want to do this, you know, when you start off using this kind of navigation system or navigation way. This might be helpful just to slow it down. Notice now when I select an object, I press W to move, E to rotate, and R to scale. At the top menu, again in the same line as our settings and our speed of our camera, we've got our move, rotate, and scale. And then you got these blue icons. The blue represents that snap is active. So if I was to rotate this, pressing E, it's now snapping by 10% increments. I can change the number by clicking on the number and then changing this to 120, and now it'll only snap 120. If you don't want any snap on any of these, you just hit the blue, and now there's no snap. And now you can rotate this freely. So that's how you can control your snap. Now if I rotate this way, oh, it's back on 120. Let me put it back to 10. Okay, let's go back this way. Notice how my gizmo is still facing the world. I want to change it to the object because I've rotated my object and I want the gizmo to do that. So same menu, same line. You got this world icon. If I click it, it goes from world space to local space. And now I can move it in the same direction that the object is pointing. Also scale it that way as well. So just up here, let's put it back. Next, to move an object, you can also move the camera with it as well, which is kind of a cool feature. So if I take this object, I'm going to duplicate it. To duplicate, you can press Alt and drag, and you've got another one. And if I want to get it over to the other side, say the outside of this kind of arena, I could kind of move it over here. I can just fly through, and then I can move it over there. And it's kind of there, right? That's one way of doing it. Or you could do it this way. So if I just do an Alt and drag again, I can now hold Shift and drag, and now the camera will go with the object. And you get a much better movement. It's a lot more precise that way as well. So that's our navigation, how we can move and also duplicate. We can also press Ctrl D. That will also duplicate an object as well. Now back up into the menu system. You'll notice it says selection mode at the top. While in there you've got landscapes to build landscapes, foliage. You can paint foliage or paint objects onto landscapes. There are modeling features which are pretty comprehensive. There's fractures, you can kind of blow things up. Animation tool sets, and some other things as well. Moving across to the right hand side, you've got your outliner. Anything that's in your scene will show in your outliner. You can hide objects. So let's find something like this floor. let's hide it. See, now there's no floor. You can also put stuff into folders. So at the top here, it says create new folder containing the current selection. So if I wanted to say grab, I don't know, all this stuff that's not in folders, and say click it in there, I now have a new folder. So I can call this other stuff maybe, and now that's in a folder. When I do click on any object in my scene, the details tab is now activated, and the details tab can get pretty in depth. It's pretty big depending on what you have selected. So this is just a post-process volume. It's got a lot of content. It's got a lot of details that you can change. So if I just select maybe, I don't know, a cube, this one over here, it tells me what it is, a static mesh. I can change the location, rotation, and scale, the material that's applied, and a few other options. And sometimes I can't find what I'm looking for, but I might know the name. So if I just say I'm looking for, I don't know, draw in virtual textures, right? Draw in virtual textures, but I couldn't find it. You can come to the search and I can type in draw, and then let's probably type in virtual. So look, oh, there we go. So draw in virtual textures, and now I've isolated that particular detail for this object. However, remember, if you then go and click on another object that doesn't have anything in there that says draw virtual, you can get no results. And you might be thinking, I'm clicking on an object, but there's no details. So just delete that search. That brings back the details for that object. Now, our content browser. Our content browser is where we store everything that we see. Our content browser is just duplicated in Windows Explorer. So when we create that first project, that third person template, then it goes to the D drive and it's just duplicated inside. So let me show you. If I select content on the right hand side and then go up into show in Explorer, it now shows my content outside of Unreal, and this is just duplicated. Characters, input, level prototyping. So if I was to create a new folder here, now usually I tend to do this when Unreal is closed down, but I'm just going to do new folder. See, it doesn't really show, but let's try and do, what would happen now if I shut this down and reopen, that new folder will appear. I forgot to mention as well, the content browser might not show, but I've got mine docked, right? So at the bottom left here, you'll see content draw. I call it content browser because that's what it's something similar in Maya. It's called, and again, look, it's content draw and content browser. So anyway, I'm gonna go to my content browser, and this pops up. And when I click away, it goes away. So if I want to dock it in the scene, I can go to content draw or browser and then say dock in layout just here on the right hand side, and that will snap it into my world here, part of my UI. And now I'm back in my scene. Now this is a third person level, okay? This is a third person level. Where are my clouds? Did I turn them off? I did. See volumetric clouds. Let's bring them back. It's a nicer day. Now again, this is a third person level, and you can create multiple different levels. Levels are maps, maps are levels. So if I create a new level, so if I go to third person, this is what the template looks like, or the icon looks like for a level, or a world, or a map. Let's create a new one. Right click, brings up this menu. In there, I can create level. I'm going to keep it new world. Press enter to agree the name, and then just press enter again to go and open that up. We'll ask you then, it will prompt you, do you want to save the content in the third person? Yeah, I'll say yes. And now we're in a brand new level, but it's completely dark because it has no lights. So let's go and add some lights. Go up to Windows and then go to ENV, Environment Light Mixer, and this will give us all our default environment lights. So we're going to click skylight, directional light, atmosphere, volumetric, and height fog. Close this, and now we've got a world. This is our brand new level. Again, let's go back over to our third person. I want to save this new world. Yep, sounds great. And now I'm back into my third person. So that's a little bit about the navigation, kind of the interface, creating a different world, different map, I should say. Also, in our content drawer, we have these different, these tabs or these icons. We can change the size of those icons just by pressing Control and scrolling the wheel to make them really big, or you can make them really small. Well, smaller, I should say. Again, there are some settings to our content drawer just here on this wheel, this settings wheel. And then there's thumbnail size, tiny to huge. Well, you just, again, control and scroll the wheel. That will change it for you. Now, the last thing I'll show you is how to get objects from an external website or place into Unreal. And that's done through, or one of the ways it's done is through Fab. And again, right at the top of your content browser, you will see a Fab tab. Now, if you don't see it, go to Edit, Plugins, and there's loads of plugins, right? Loads. So I'm going to type in Fab, and then there is our Fab plugin. Tick it. But when you do that, so if I just tick this Play Fab Party one, it will prompt me to restart. So whenever you add or tick a new plugin, restart it so it takes effect. And then we get us Fab. So I'm going to click on Fab. And Fab is the marketplace for Unreal. It is where you can purchase content that the community makes. Oh, right now it's not liking it. Oh, there we go. It kicked in. Yeah, we can purchase content from the community, but there's a lot of free stuff on here as well, which is great. Look at this one, MetaHuman Vampire. Let's look at that one. Oh, very cool. Okay, I'll come back to that one. Maybe I'll add that to my library. Come back. Now, inside of Fab, we have got, right at the top here, it's going to ask me to log in. So I'll look here. Yeah, let's sign in. So let's sign into Fab. You can use your login details that you did to generate an Epic account. And now I'm in. See, I got different icons now. So at the top, we can search for loads of different things, right? We'll come back to that quickly. We've got on the left-hand side 3D, so we can search for buildings, creatures, weapons, furniture, you name it. It'll probably be in here somewhere. We've got different materials and textures. We've got decals, HDRIs, animation stuff, loads and loads of assets inside the Fab store. So I'm going to go to the top here and say search. Search for tree. Let's search for tree. Then it brings up all the trees that are on Fab. You've got different options across the top, and one of them which says price. Let's go to price, and let's say show only show free products. Great. So let's take a look at some of these trees. Maybe I type in trees. What did I find before? It's pretty cool. Let's take something like this tree house. What's this look like? Oh, this will go in. So let's click on it. Just thinking about it. Let's go back. Let's see if I can find that again. Where is that tree stump? Let's find something like, I don't know, let's do this plant pot, right? So they're going to click here. This will be easy to do. It's probably low poly and it's light. Now on the right hand side, to get this into my project, we just say add to project, or I can add to my library. So I can save it in my library for future use. And if I go up the top here, these icons where I logged in, the first one says my library. So I'm just going to go there quickly to show you. And these are some of the things that I've added previous. into other projects I've been working on. And once you've added it in here, it kind of stays forever, which is great because I never know when I'm going to need an advanced phone system or a mechanic girl. You know, you never know, right? So I'm going to go back to my tree, or my plant pot actually, sorry. I'm going to say add to project. Just click it. All right, so now once it's downloaded, it appears as a new folder in your content browser called Fab. So let's double click into this folder a couple of times, and then we've got materials, static meshes, and textures. Now, depending what you download, that will give you less or more folders. So static mesh is the name of the actual object. So I just drag it out into my world, and now I have a plant pot. It's pretty small, actually. So to zoom in on this, I can press F, and that will frame it up. And there it is. If I want to make it a bit bigger, if I come over to my details tab for this plant pot, I can go to scale at the very top of my details. If I just lock it, and then I can change this to say 50, and now it will all scale in 50. Too big. Let's do 5. And then let's bring it to the floor as well. And see, I can just move it to the floor, but if you press end on a full scale keyboard, it will snap to the ground. And there we go. That's how I can get objects in from Fab. Let's press play again. Let's see what this looks like. Where is it? There it is. Can I land in it? Oh, it's got collisions on. Great. Oh no, it's not. I'm in the pot. So there we go. That's just an introduction into how to install and create a project, an Unreal project. A little bit about the interface, some navigation, the content browser, and then how to get objects from Fab into your world. All right, guys, I hope that helps. And remember, keep pushing forward on your creative journey.